There's the headline: China clamping down on coronavirus research. Deleted pages suggest they're not telling the truth, is basically it. Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican from Tennessee, joins us now. Senator, you've said that you want to hold China accountable. What exactly are you going to do?
There are several things that we need to do to hold China accountable for this, because China knew they had this. They hid it. They were not transparent. They didn't want to share the information or the viral sample for research once we found out they did have it. So the first step is to pass a resolution, a sense of the Senate resolution that says China did all of these things and they need to be held responsible. The second thing that we can do is ask China to waive the debt. They own a lot of our debt, Stuart, over $1 trillion. And look at what they have cost not only the United States, but other nations. You're talking about 180 countries that have coronavirus, COVID-19, in their countries. The third thing is to bring our pharmaceutical manufacturing and other supply chain manufacturing components back to the United States.
Can I just interrupt about the debt that they hold? That's
Sure.
accurate. They do hold about $1 trillion worth or more of our debt. They bought that debt. What are we going to do about that? I mean, are you saying they should just not pay it back, or we should... How does that work? When you want to do something about the $1 trillion worth of debt that they hold, what exactly do you want to do with it?
One of the things we could do is just have them waive that debt. But we know there are going to be a lot of recommendations that are going to come forward with how we deal with China now, how we deal with China in the future. And Stuart, I will also say there are questions about how we fund the World Health Organization and also the UN that have arisen out of this. Why should China, in the middle of all of this, be given a seat on the Human Rights Council at the UN? Why would the World Health Organization, after all the funding we do for these organizations, why would they help cover up and praise China for being transparent in this process, when the activists, the Chinese activists, the individuals we have talked to in China are telling us China knew for 51 days, that they had an outbreak on their hands. And if they had accepted help from us and others, that this could have been contained right there in Wuhan, where it started.
Senator, I want to extend from our viewers to you and the people of Tennessee our condolences on the tornadoes which have hit your state. I can't imagine a worse situation than being hit by the virus, first of all, and then tornadoes. How are you doing there?
Well, I think they're doing fine. I was just talking with Congressman Chuck Fleischman on the phone about what is happening there on the ground. He is out with emergency responders right now, and we were discussing the needs and the way to handle this in the middle of this pandemic also. And as you remember, the president recently visited in early March. He visited Tennessee because of Putnam County and the incredible hit that they took. So what we are doing is beginning those assessments, and it is heartbreaking to me. Every life that is lost from the tornadoes, the livelihoods from the tornadoes and the pandemic and the loss of life from the pandemic, it is a time that is challenging to us, but we know that through our faith, it helps to make us strong, to be resilient, and to look forward to a time of recovery.
Senator, I want you to know that our thoughts and those of all of our viewers are very much with you in a very tough situation there in Tennessee. Marsha Blackburn, thank you for being with us. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.